You're listening to the Barbell Voodoo Podcast with your host, Jacob Fasig. Today's podcast is brought to you by Paleo Works, a locally owned meal prep kitchen with a passion for paleo. Their goal is to make it easy for people to have the nutrition you need when you need it. They deliver a weekly menu of heat and eat paleo meals, athlete recovery meals, and bulk macro items for all you macro counters, as well as a variety of side items that can be added to your order. Their meal features local 100% grass-fed beef, all natural and hormone-free range chicken, and pork. They have pickup locations in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Mount Juliet, Lawrenceburg, Lebanon, Spring Hill, Columbia, and Clarksville to make it easy to pick up your prepared meals. And they even deliver in many areas in Nashville for a nominal fee. Paleo Works wants to make the nutrition the easiest part of your day. Also, hey, want to remind you about Barbell Voodoo private label. We can print about anything and get anything that your box or your gym or your personal stuff, anything you need, from anything with orders from 12 to 10,000. Hey, Regionals is coming at the end of this week, and we want to make sure that you have Nashville Fit Magazine's latest issue, the dog issue. Inside of it, you will find a coupon to use at Regionals for some money off your order with Barbell Voodoo. So you will want to have that magazine, that ad with you when you show up, and we'll make sure that you get that discount. Also, Friday night at Regionals, we'll have former Tennessee Titan Kevin Dyson on hand signing autographs, so you don't want to miss that. Hey, we look forward to seeing you and hanging out. See you this weekend. On today's podcast, we are sitting down with our regional team, Team Hendersonville, and we had a blast hanging out with them at CrossFit Hendersonville. What a magnificent place. If you're around Hendersonville, you got to go check out this box. It is incredible and filled with amazing and great athletes, and so you will want to go check them out. But today, on our last Road to Regionals podcast, we hope you enjoy Team Hendersonville.
Hey, this is Rich Froning. You're listening to Barbell Voodoo Podcast.
Believe it or not, I was in a play.
What play?
Oh boy!
Wait, are we
Really on the
like, can we
What play were you in?
A church play.
What?
And it was Toy Story themed. And I was Buzz Lightyear.
Oh my god!
Wait.
Wait a minute, you were in a church play that was Toy Story
Yeah. Buzz Lightyear got saved. But anyway. Yeah. Swear.
All right, well, welcome to the Barbell Voodoo Podcast. We're sitting down with Team Hendersonville on their Road to the Regionals podcast series here. This is the last one, as it is the week of Regionals. And so we are sitting here with Jessica Martinez. They can't hear a wave. Yeah, there you go.
Hello.
Blake Rogers.
To infinity and beyond.
Oh, my God.
Oh gosh!
Jake Lockhart.
Hey guys.
And Lindsay McGuffey, right?
Cleveland Brown.
McDuffie.
The D. What's up, y'all?
The D. McDuffie. Man, you should really get a more professional to lead this thing. All right, so today I thought we could talk about just briefly. We like to tell people stories on this podcast, and so I thought we could briefly just say kind of like how you got to the team, like how you personally, just like a brief kind of synopsis of like it all began on a pogo stick, and I learned how athletic I was, and then from something like that. So we'll start with Jake,
All
the
right.
designated spokesman of the group.
Good. A long time ago in a county far, far away. I'm from Chattanooga. I went to college in Cookeville, Tennessee, and was there. Got my master's, and I was fortunate enough to be able to train at CrossFit Mayhem. Then in 2016, I moved to Nashville for physical therapy school at TSU. And so I started in that summer and trained until towards the end of that year. And I was at CrossFit Nashville. They were really good people. And we actually lived in Hendersonville, though. I just didn't really know anyone at this gym. Mm-hmm. And Lindsay and Donovan, another guy here, one of my buddies, had actually messaged me through Facebook Messenger. Yeah. And as unsavvy as we are on, I guess, the Facebook social media side, I didn't see it until a month later because they weren't my friend.
He says he didn't see it.
Yeah.
I promise. It was like almost Christmas Eve.
I've heard a little conspiracy happening
Yeah.
with this. The holidays are tough.
They are.
To protect social media. No one actually uses social media during the holidays, I've noticed.
That's true.
They take a break.
I had happened to look one night,
true.
and I was like, "What? They want me to be on their team?" Because we probably weren't going to have a team work out where I was at very well.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was pumped, and I thought it'd be too late because it was a month later. This was a year and a half ago, and because Lindsay, Donovan, Jess here, and then a guy named Jake Wallace and Josie Parsons were like, "Hey, we'll do the team if we can get the third guy." And so I was like, "Hey, I'm totally down if y'all are good." And then they were, and so a week later, we all convened, and then last year I got to train together, and from then the gym was already only like 10 minutes from my house, so I was like, wow, this is way
nice.
better than a 30-minute drive, and the people here are awesome. Community is unparalleled in my opinion, and I've been to a lot of gyms, and so everything made sense, and it fell into place, and I was super blessed to be a part of it, and so since then I've been here, and it's been good.
Yeah. All right. Jessica, how'd you get associated with this team?
So I started out CrossFit way back in end of 2011 at CrossFit Murfreesboro with, as he mentioned, Josie, the other girl that was on our team last year. Her and I have been to regionals on teams together, individually together. We've kind of done life together for the last several years, training partners day in and day out. And she's from here and moved back here at the end of 2015, I guess. No, what year were we in? 2016. Into 2016, she moved here. Back out here, and I had met Lindsay through her and always, kind of followed and knew what was going on out here. And they were kind of like, hey, if we tried to have a team, would you drive out and do it with us? And I was like, yeah, like, I miss my training partner. And Lindsay's always been fun to train with and be around. And so I ended up coming out last year, and then we were and then we weren't because Jake doesn't check his messages. But then we ended up, so I thought literally like December 30th, I think, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to Hendersonville every day for the next 6 months or whatever. But came out last year and just loved the community. We really had a great time last year. It was so awesome. And so this year I kind of was going to retire from that. And then old Lockhart over here was like, one more time, Jess, one more time. We can do it. It's a new format, And so I was like, sure, I love training with you guys and I love the community. And I'm going to CrossFit for the next 6 months or 8 years anyway. So sure, let's have a team again if we can. So that's kind of how I ended up here again.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's fun.
All right, Blake.
I started
AKA
in
Buzz
in 2013, into 2013.
Okay.
Finished up college baseball, and my brother was doing CrossFit. He was actually in Cookville. He was at Knights, so the gym right down the road, much smaller than Mayhem. And he's like, you should try it. And I was like, I'm not doing that junk. And he finally talked me into doing it. And so I needed something competitive after baseball, so I got in, I fell in love with it, and trained at CrossFit Talon for about 6 or 8 months. And being there, I guess for the first 6 months I trained with Will Morad, which ended up going to the games that year. And I really felt bad because I never beat anybody to work out because I always worked out with him. So I was like, I'm terrible at CrossFit. And then I actually worked out with somebody besides him. I was like, I'm not that bad. So and then so I trained at a non.
That's why I like to train right next to the people who just got done with the beginners class.
Yes.
I try to set up next to them in the mornings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah.
Ego boost for the day.
Feel great about yourself.
Yeah. Whoop that guy. You're
Yeah.
doing RX minus like 10, but I don't care. We don't have to look at that. Look at the time. Anyways, sorry, keep going.
Crushed him. Went individual for a couple years and just missed the cut on regionals. And then old Jake here messaged me, and I didn't check my inbox. So then Chris Martinez ended up sending me a message saying, hey, did you get that message from Jake? I was like, no, what are you talking about?
Hey, listen to Chris.
So I was like, I'll check it. And so I checked it, and Jake was putting the team together again. One more year. It's changed to four-person team format, so I didn't
You have
have
some questions around that in a minute here about going from 6 to 4.
I don't know the difference. I never did 6, so
This is all new to you.
it's all new.
Well, if they go to 3, I mean, who's going to be offed in this group? But anyway, no, y'all get everybody's quitting all of a sudden. Oh man! All right. Well, Lindsay, so this is you welcome everybody over to your house.
This is our second
To
home
practice.
for sure. Yes. Yeah. So I jumped into being a trainer and opening a gym like right out of college, and I like Blake needed something competitive. So I heard about the guys in Cookville. This was like 07, doing this CrossFit stuff. My sister told me about it. So I followed everything like on .com and read all the journals. So when the games and stuff started happening, of course, I was all into that. So I competed with Josie in 2011 with Murfreesboro. So it was a different story.
Okay.
I was the guy going out there
Yeah.
to train 2011. And then 2012 and 13, we Jess and I competed against each other at regionals.
Yeah.
So it was always just me, like out here by myself. Even like the members weren't really like hype about it because it wasn't as big of a deal back then.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a blessing to have other competitive athletes here,
That's cool.
with me now.
So you opened this place right out of college?
Basically, yeah, I had a year where I did just personal training, like groups of
Really?
clients and stuff, and then I affiliated like a year later. Yeah.
Okay. So you got your L1, then opened it, and then affiliated later?
Yeah, so our 10-year anniversary was last night. So
That's awesome.
There were, competed, ran the business for a few years, competed 11, 12, 13, took a couple of years off to have
Yeah.
some babies, and now pulled
Man,
back
that's
into
OG,
these
10
guys.
years. Yeah, that's good.
OG. I'm old.
Especially around here. Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. So we had this new format this year, and last year it was a 6-member team, and then 4 years. So, like, did you guys join like a mafia and just had people taken care of? Like how do you manage a team to shrink and still like be friends, or are those people just not around? Like what was the deal there? How do you do that? How do you shrink a
They're
team?
still here, and
Okay.
they work out, and they love
They're
us.
still alive.
They threw their white flag, and they knew pretty much after regionals last year that
Yeah.
Oh,
they were
okay.
going to be happy to.
They were
Just
dreading
do
the
fitness.
6th person. They were dreading us asking, I think. Or
Is that right?
I know Josie was, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think Donovan kind
Yeah,
of
and then Wallace
So, yeah.
was injured.
He's injured. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this
His
is a
flag, too.
happy
Yeah.
group
Oh, yeah.
still.
Yeah, they will be there cheering
They'll
us
be,
on.
yes.
And
That's
They're
fantastic.
they're
excited.
very excited that they don't have to be on the floor.
Yes, exactly.
They won't have to enter the pain cave where you guys will be
We will be-
located.
Yep.
So, have you guys? I assume you guys have been testing out the workouts that have been posted about this. So, are there any particular events? Like you have basically 6 events, right? Over the weekend, next weekend,
Correct.
or when the podcast comes out this coming weekend. Which event do you guys stress out about the most? Like, do you have one that you're just like, that one's going to be devastating?
Assault bike.
The assault bike one?
I think we're all
All of
different.
Saturday.
I think we're all different.
All just Saturday.
Saturday in general.
All right.
Is that what day that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Saturday, event 3, you have 3 rounds of assault bike, and then partner deadlifts, 21, 15, 9, and then at 440 weight, and then you do 1 round of assault bike, and then 45 partner deadlifts again, with a time cap of 17 minutes. So
There's a couple of us that like the bike, and then a couple of us that don't.
okay.
And that like the deadlift. There's a couple that like the deadlift.
Aren't, Blake and I aren't digging the bike on Saturday,
Okay.
but we'll suffer through. We'll have fun.
So you'll have to alternate. One of you can't do one of you can't do the other.
That event's Blake and Lindsay will both be assault biking at the same time. Then when they both get
Gotcha.
off done, they're
Yeah.
both deadlifting together.
So all the partners are working at the
Yeah.
same time.
So
Gotcha.
they'll,
And when
they'll
they
do the
finish-
first 3 rounds. And then the second pair does it straight through the same. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Me and Jess actually happen to just love assault bike and love
and
deadlift.
love deadlifting.
So,
Wow,
So
that's your event. That's exciting.
we get the long, slow burn. They
And
do
then
it.
you guys were working on this when I came here. The worm, No, wait, no, these are burpees and thrusters.
Oh, we worked on
Yeah,
that
we
before.
You were working on the lunges
Practice
when I
that,
saw
yeah.
you.
That's the other one we're not looking forward to because we did it last year. We know how bad it hurts.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt a little bit more this year with 4 people.
A little
So
bit.
is the worm different now that there's 4 instead of 6?
It's heavier.
It's heavier? It's heavier with
Yes.
fewer people.
Not as big of a jump for like Jess and I had the 65, 60 bags last year. Ours are 70, but the guys
Go from 75, 80 to hundos.
100.
Wow.
So they're jumping.
That's what I'm dreading really hard because you can't see, but Blake's 5'7".
12.
No, you're not. And I'm 6'2", and I squat slow, so those thrusters are all.
9.
Some big
Long way
weight on me
down,
on the thrusters.
though,
Long way
Yeah.
down, long way up. That's what I'm dreading. So we should power through that. The weekend will be great.
Yeah. So last year in competing at regionals, what was that experience like? Can you kind of like, because the majority of people listen to this have not competed at regionals, have not been people except maybe in the stands or people that kind of watch it or troll online or whatever. What's it like to enter that kind of arena? You know, is it or what's the difference between going to a competition at a local box or going to the Battle of Barbells or something like that? Like what's the difference?
I think for me at first, the adrenaline spikes. It's already high like at a local competition, you know, jazz, but like there it's even more like you'd expect. And so, but then after like the first maybe 90 seconds or less, you just get in your rhythm and then you're working out just like always. So that's when it mellows out after the first couple minutes. But at first, it's a really high spike, and then you just do work like you've been practicing. And then regionals was really awesome last year because we were the only team in Nashville area that had a team.
Okay.
In Hendersonville, anything you do, they're going all out. So by Sunday, there was 120, 150 members there.
Oh,
they were
wow.
by far the loudest.
Wow.
That made it a lot of fun.
So you actually hear them. Like I've talked to some people that they don't even hear anybody there.
I was going to say, when you ask, the biggest difference, especially team, because local, even if you do a partner or a team locally, it's not that loud. It gets so loud in there over the weekend, especially with the worm. Like communication becomes an hearing,
issue.
like literally like you're screaming on top of your lungs when you're like the calling person, and the rest of your team can't hear anything. I mean, you're focused on their movement, but like it's just that. I don't even think you hear it really. For me, like the crowd, it's just that roar of like it's just loud, and it's the music's loud, and you're just kind of trying to stay. In some ways, I think it helps me a little bit because I just can more focus on just the person who I'm watching, who's in front of me. But I think for me, the adrenaline spike, and then also just the noise level is what's really different. Once you're out there and it's the four of you and you get settled in, it's like he said, it's like we're in here doing it, honestly. Like you kind of just block everything else out.
Yeah.
And then after the fact, you can kind of look around and be like, oh, cool, this is this is a big deal.
Yeah.
But in the moment, it's not really that different, honestly. Like once you're settled in.
So how do you manage that adrenaline spike? Like, because the tendency would be to come out super hot. Like you're all juicing and like you're ready to go, and then all of a sudden, I mean, not juicing. Sorry, it's probably not. I don't mean that in the way that people, because now it's a thing. Maybe not been a thing before, but now it's a thing. But you're out there. You got your adrenaline pumping. Like how do you manage that? Because one of the things that we're talking about so often now in CrossFit is the mental game of things. Like how do you keep your mind right, and the elite athletes doing even just as much work mentally as they are physically. And so how do you manage that going into that kind of arena?
I'm a nerd during workouts anyway, so I'm just watching that clock being like, I know I need to be here now, so if I'm way ahead, I need to slow that pace down, and so the first couple minutes just try not to get too far ahead. But on team, it's kind of different because a lot of things you need just to blitz whatever your part is and go, and so you could maybe use that and then just get done faster. And on the workout.
Yeah.
I think it gets easier every year. It's just like, practice. You learn how to calm yourself down, how to not let your head rush into crazy thoughts, how to control some of those thoughts. And because I get really nervous and that adrenaline is going hard. So you have to use your head.
Yeah.
And calm yourself down.
I was watching the Games movie that and Vellner was talking about how he came out so hot on the bike, on the bike, and I guess the sledgehammer one, I think, and he said, I realized I was in trouble when I was the first one off the bike. He's like, it was going to be bad. It was so funny. But yeah, I would have such a tendency of just being like so excited, like, and end up having a heart attack. But that's probably just me, and it's probably why I'm not an elite athlete. But you guys obviously manage
I love
it
the
well.
chase. I love to
Yeah.
start slow and like chip away and knock people off.
Yeah.
That's super fun. And
Yeah.
competition.
I like that.
Lindsay's really good at that.
Yeah.
She's great. I mean, that's one thing, like, being out here the last couple, like, she's just really good at, like, she just knows herself really well as an athlete, and so she's never going to bite off more than she can chew until it's time, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, where did that come from?
Yeah.
It's just being a smart athlete.
Yeah.
I think it's easier on team too to stay. At least for me, it's more stressful in some ways because I don't want to let other people down, but I'm more relaxed because we're warming up together. We're in the corral and we're like chit-chatting, and it kind of helps keep it where if you're like out there as an individual, it's just you, and you are in your head a little bit more, I think, and on the team, knowing when you practice, there's a certain pace or a certain, like, oh, we're going to do synchro chest to bar, we're going to do sets of 5. I'm not going to get up there and feel good and just keep going and do like 20 unbroken. We have a game plan. So I think it's easier for me to just focus on my part and not get too far ahead than as an individual when you just, you can be a little bit more tricky. So I think team is actually easier to stay more grounded and like calm.
We can rein each other in.
Yes, it's
So do you guys talk about it? Like you're going out there and you're like, I'm gonna vomit.
yeah.
Like you guys
Last year
talk
we
each
did it in
other?
the corral.
Yeah.
I remember Wallace being like, why do I still get nervous?
Yeah.
We've done this like 6 times now this weekend.
Yeah.
Every time.
It's just exercising. I don't know.
Basically.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Well, I know we're excited that for you guys to go and compete and do all the exercising that we wish we could do at your pace. And so, if you could label like your strength that you contribute to the team, like what would it be? Each of you, like, do you have a certain strength that you contribute?
I'm a puller. Give me like pull-ups or ropes or something like that. I'm the female puller.
Okay.
Monostructural, so row bike, something like that, and then heavy pulling as well.
All right.
I can squat. That's about squat or gymnastics.
Okay.
Give me a thruster or something with a squat in it, I'm gonna be pretty good at it.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more of the lower, like, give me some squats, give me some, or just to work, like, more of a workhorse, like, run or random, like, bike and deadlift, whatever kind of stuff. I'm not so much into the pulling unless it's pulling the deadlift bar from the ground. But
I think we all like the grind and grunt work
I think
too.
we're
So
just
the
grind,
worm,
yeah.
the worm's pretty cool for us.
yes.
Yeah.
So we like to get in there
I
and
like all
grind
that
hard.
stuff. Yeah.
See, I think that's the coolest part of the team competition. I mean, sometimes when there's synchronized stuff, and I mean, that's okay, but like when y'all are together working on an object, I like that. Like that's when team comes together for me, because it's forcing you all, to work as a team, but also to stay within proper parameters of each other and work as a cohesive unit. I just love that. I think it demonstrates a lot of things, more than just physical ability and more than just stamina or anything. It adds that mental piece. It adds that teamwork piece. It adds that cohesive unit. Like, these guys have obviously put in time together because they're working as one unit, and I think that's pretty incredible. You guys are working the worm. Is it someplace that you guys find unity in that, or?
I'd say it's easier with 4 people than 6. I mean, 2 less people.
Yeah.
We ghetto rigged our worm this morning, so it's a little wobbly, got a little off. Hair got stuck in the Velcro a little bit in the back, extra worm hanging off. But yeah, we felt good this morning training.
That's cool. So what kind of do you guys have expectations in terms of what you want to accomplish at regionals? Do you have goals? Maybe not expectations, maybe some goals or anything?
I mean, bucket list is make the CrossFit
Win.
Games.
Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
No,
Like is that really like? Do you think about that, or do you just like we want to go out and do the best we can?
I think my mindset is, I mean, I want to make the CrossFit Games. Like, it's a huge goal, lifelong goal. And I think we'll just assess after day one where we're at. Unfortunately, because we're going to be, we're tied for 10th in our region, so but we're on the back end, so we'll be in the first heat.
Okay.
So, like, maybe minor goal will be move up to the second heat. But if we somehow knocked out of the park in the first two events and we all did really well at the handstand walk, and we moved up to the last heat, so top 10, then it's like, okay, it's looking like we got a realistic shot. That's how I'm going to view it. And then if something fell apart, something in the world, it's just exercising and we'll have fun.
Yeah.
And still go hard.
That's cool.
That was fun last year. We did well the first day and got into that. We're in that first heat, or I guess the last heat, the best heat for the rest of the weekend, which was fun.
Yeah.
Go against the big dogs.
So what place did you guys end up in last year?
12th or so.
We dropped.
We went for it on the last workout. We decided to go, held nothing back.
Yeah, full bore.
With the
And
worm.
the worm got a little wiggly. And we were the last team left for a couple minutes on the floor all by ourselves finishing, which was great for the crowd because our crew got to cheer us on. It was really loud and we
It was
we were
great for my
laughing.
family out of town too because we actually got coverage.
We got footage online.
Oh yeah.
on the
We were
coverage.
the only team left.
It was fun though.
So this year, if you finish above that, will that be success, or will that just be like, I'm still not there yet?
Oh no, it's success.
It's still success.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Good. I'm not questioning that. That's,
I think it's a big thing too, and then last year was the same. CrossFit's a part of our life, but it's not our life. Like, everyone here has far greater commitments elsewhere, which is a good thing, and I love it that we still get to do this, and it's not like full time or whatever, and don't get to train as much as might be as we'd like, but that's for good reasons, and so because of that, it puts it in perspective.
so what is the time commitment like? Because it seems like the individual athletes, it's their whole life basically pouring into that. For the most part, I mean, it seems like a lot went to school during which boggles my mind, like how you do school and do well and then compete, but like what's the team time commitment? Like you guys have to work out with each other so much every week. Like do you guys try to put in like I don't know so many hours together, or like what's it like? How does it cut into your life? I guess is more like what I'm asking.
Well, our schedules are so different.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times it's hard to just get everybody together at once, and so I mean we all work. I mean, we work hard in the gym, so it's not like we don't do anything. It's just when we have time to train together as a team, we really like put it together at that time. So
it's cool.
But like Jake said, like we got bigger commitments in our life to push everything aside for.
Is there a point that like this one takes over more than anything else at all with your lives, or is it just consistent? This is what we do, and
I think
whatever.
even now it's like literally. I mean, today it was a longer day. We made, I think most of us made adjustments in schedule to be here longer and to practice more and to do this or whatever. But I mean, we're all like, it's usually like, I mean, we could get here on a Saturday morning and in an hour and a half, it's like running clock. Like we don't play around, I guess is the thing. Like we get a lot of work in and we can work hard, but because of, other things going on or whatever else, it's almost like, literally like we just don't mess around. It's like, is it fun and is it great when we have times where we can hang out longer and like chit chat and whatever, but I mean I know several weeks back when we first were getting together it would be like I'm running in, one of the workouts like they've already started, Lindsay's running out, so it's like we just like when we're here, I think that's the thing. You can, when you have that other stuff going on and different schedules, or like Jake with school and Blake with work and stuff, it's like you just get it done. Like you're here and you're present here for like that hour and a half or 2 hours, and then you can move on. It's not like a let's do this. We just it's like, boom, this is it. Be present, work hard. See you tomorrow, kind of thing.
So do you guys have a program you follow? Do you guys
As a team.
do your own things?
As a team, no.
Until you find out kind of what the workouts are, and then you kind of chip away at those?
Right, and you just practice.
Usually we come in, or Jake will be like, hey guys, what do you think about this?
Jake likes programming.
He likes
We say yes.
Oh, yeah?
and we just say, sure. Let's
Sure.
do
We'll
it.
do that, Jake.
No one else wants to think about it. Absolutely. Whatever
So you
say.
enjoy programming?
Yeah, I get to work some with the What's Rich Doing program. With that, we'll put in his workouts, and then I'd program for a couple of the bias type things on there. And so, yeah, I like programming, and then especially team stuff. It's a little bit more. It's just different than program individual, obviously. So, and I think that's fun.
Yeah.
I'll just throw something together that I've seen, and that we need to work on and go through it. Maybe it's like 10 minutes of this, 5-minute rest, 10 minutes of this, and an hour or so. We get a lot in and get going.
Yeah, you just knock it out. I can't imagine there's. I don't know. I imagine people who work out as much as you guys, the fun is in the work, as opposed to like sitting around couches and like chatting about life. Is that accurate, or is that inaccurate?
I think we definitely have a blast working out together, but
That's fun.
I mean, we get along. That's probably the best part. Like, we could go eat lunch and have just as good a time as any of our other friends.
Yeah.
Hanging out. That makes being on a team a lot better. to be
Yeah.
honest.
Well, there's something about CrossFit, like going to war together every day, that solidifies a relationship in ways that it takes forever, it seems, doing other things. Like it takes a lot of coffee to get to the relational place that like working out together does, in my opinion, maybe.
Yeah, suffering
Yeah.
together builds relationship faster than probably anything.
Yeah.
Like between team sports, I haven't been a soldier or anything, but you always hear and more.
Right.
Like it become closer, faster than anything else. And this is not that at all. But
No.
suffering together in a workout every day does build bonds faster than if you're just hanging out and chatting.
Yeah. So you guys predominantly weren't like strangers necessarily, kind of knew of each other along the way and kind of, hey, come do this with me. How long do you feel it took you to get to a place where you were like, oh, we're a team? Do you know?
I mean, I think,
Soon.
I think it's like you don't make a commitment, like Blake or myself, you don't make a commitment to drive 2 hours, an hour, a couple days a week, without knowing kind of the type, like what you're getting into in the sense of like the type of community and the type of people.
Right.
And so I think because we are all already so similar in like our beliefs and our work ethic and life, that like you just kind of, you show up to work out and it's like you've been doing it your whole life. Like it would be the same as if your noon class and it's that same group every day. It's like within like, you just like come train with us and you work out one time and you're like, but like it feels right. I guess. I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't
It sounds like you guys are an extended family.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's not like a getting to know someone period. It's kind of like, well, you've been around each other a little bit or know from competitions or whatever else, and so you're just kind of like, yeah, those are great people. I wouldn't mind spending some time with them. They're gonna get better. I'm gonna get better. Okay, we're a team, and
That's
then
cool.
you just.
Yeah, and we all
work
have
it out.
backgrounds in sports, so like we know what being a teammate means.
Yeah.
So even before Blake comes out to the gym and he just is a teammate by like the message that Jake sent, like in my mind, like I know immediately what being a teammate means, and he walks in the door and it clicks just because we have that history of being on sports team and stuff. Yeah.
So it takes you 2 hours, like, to get here, to drive. Like, what makes it
not
worth
quite.
that? Like, I was giving Jessica a hard time because I know she's got like at least an hour. She says it's an hour. I think it's longer than that, but I guess she drives faster than I do. But, but like that's considerable distance. Like, what makes that worth it to you to drive that far? I mean, because you have a gym, like, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
do they have cooler toys here? Like, what?
It's the people.
Yeah.
Like, I've always wanted to go to regionals, and where I was at, just we didn't have one. I didn't make it as an individual. Two, we didn't have enough people as a team, and so I knew before me and my wife started settling down and have kids that it's something that I wanted to do. And I told her like 3 years ago. I was like, I'm not going to regionals until I make it. Like the competitiveness in me, I can't go watch because I'm like, I want to be out there. And so I was like, I'm not going until I make it. That will be when I go. And so when Jake asked me, and Haley and I talked about it, and I was like, I mean, this is probably really my last chance before we settle down, and you know, if we have young kids, then we can't just leave at any time and come up here for you know, half a week or whatever and train. And so you know, it's really in the people that are up here. So if it had been anybody but these three, I wouldn't have done it. I knew, I didn't know them really personally, but I knew what they were about and what they were like. So it was a no-brainer to come.
So how long have you been married?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
You guys are going to start having kids next year? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Let's
It's impressive. Like you're a planner, huh? Like
I want to be like 35 and have my first kid.
oh, that's so old. Goodness.
Guess I already have
I
one.
just rolled my eyes. You can't see that in the podcast, but
Yeah.
35, ancient. No.
It is a long way, so.
It's closer than you might.
Sorry, Jess.
You're good. It's all good. I'm used to being the old one.
Yeah, but
I don't think
you still
you're
beat me
old.
in workout, so.
Wow, that's great. So 2 years, and then so you're going to go to regionals and then have kids. I mean, Rich did it with kids. I mean, what's the? Wait, you're canceling yourself out here. That's the whole reason he went to, wasn't it?
Well, he did it, and I just don't want to.
You don't want to be like
copy him or anything, so.
I would copy every single thing he does in my life, but that's just me. That's not you. You obviously have a plan, so I don't have one, except to be rich.
How's that going?
Not like monetarily,
But both.
I just want to be sponsored by a clothing company and wear no clothing. That's what I want to do. Like him. He probably has 1 million T-shirts. Don't you guess he has at least 1 million T-shirts and yet he never wears one?
Yeah.
You know, people get them all the time. I know he's got a couple of Barbell Voodoo shirts. Anyways,
Never
he
worn
probably can't wear them. Yeah. Anyways, I digress. Well, so who else has family? What's going on here? Tell us about families real quick. Give a shout out to your families because they're the people like behind you that are pushing you and being like, yeah, sure, I guess you can go out and work out for a few more hours, you know.
I love my wife.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Shout out to Nancy. I'm married almost 4 years. No kids. I guess I just thought I'm the only one that doesn't have any kids here. But we'll probably the next year or so start popping them out.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
That's how I like to refer to it.
You basically just say it's time,
go.
and you pop them out.
My plan is to have triplets, maybe one more after that.
Yeah, and be done. Be done.
Be done.
One shot.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Good luck with that. Yeah, it's great.
It sounds great in my head.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah,
You said Nancy? Is that?
Nancy's my wife. She's
Yeah.
a
How does she
teacher.
feel about that?
She loves kids and wants lots, but triplets, she's not down with that.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you know, you're already there.
That's right.
It's difference between two more
It's
after
like
that.
2 less years of pregnancy
It's.
to get to 3 kids. So
Yeah.
just
I love
think
it.
about it.
Love it. Can't wait till she
yeah.
hears this.
I'm similar to Blake too. Like once we start having kids, I'll still work out regularly, but if I'm never competing again, I want to be okay with
Yeah.
that. And if it happen to get too great, but I just want to be cool with being done.
Yeah.
If I need to be. So it's kind of our plan. I get done with school in a year, so all those things.
And then what will you be when you're done with school? Like, what does that give you?
I'll be a physical therapist.
Okay.
Pretty much all of them now are doctorates. Mm-hmm. So doctorate of physical therapy.
Okay. So we'll have to start
Dr.
calling
J.
you doctor.
They don't call them doctors.
Dr.
Everyone wants to
J.
be called doctors. We're not medical doctors. It just gets under my skin when people want to act like they're a medical doctor and really we're just physical therapists. But that's cool. If you want to call me Dr. Lockhart, I'm not going to correct you, I
Yeah.
guess.
Next time I see you.
Dr. Lockhart.
you
Jr.
Dr.
Next
J.
year. That's right. There you go.
Next year you're having kids.
That's right. Triplets,
There you
Dr.
go.
Lockhart.
This team basically dies after this year, is what I'm hearing. At least you know you got to find new males.
Some new youngins.
All right, Lindsay, who you got to shout out to?
Ryan, we celebrated our 10-year a couple weeks ago. So we were married for
awesome.
10 years.
Do something special for 10? That's a big one.
You know what? We never go to Nashville anymore because it's just super crowded. and we decided to go join the watch party and watch the Preds
Oh, cool.
on the last game
Yeah,
when they lost.
that's terrible.
It was fun. So we got out in the town, hung out down there. But we have 3 kids. So Bradley's 7, Emery's 5, Cade's almost 3. Mm-hmm. And I started, like, when I first competed with Josie in 2011, I had Bradley the year before.
Yeah.
So I kind of have always done the family.
So they're just being
complete
wusses, is what you're
balancing.
saying.
Yes.
Yeah, they're just bringing some
And
weak
I
sauce.
mean, I'm the woman. I'm
Yeah.
the one actually carrying.
Well,
the
they already
child.
probably know they're not as strong as you already, but I just, I just wanted to make sure that they were aware of you calling them out
Right.
like that.
This is happening, boys.
This is happening.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that like 2012 where she nearly qualified for the games at like?
I
Yes.
competed regionals 12 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
Stop
It
it.
was a lot of fun. I was fit.
And yeah,
That's
so,
incredible.
Yeah.
I was fit.
Yeah.
I had some good hormone something going through me that weekend.
There was one of our coaches at my last box, and she was like super preggers. And she was still working out, and I beat her in a workout, and I was like, yeah, take that, I don't care, you're pregnant. And then like a little bit later, I'm not a jerk, we had a good relationship, like it was like weird, but like later on she was back and like just had a kid, and like she was whooping us again. And I was like, man, would you get pregnant again so I can feel better about myself?
Only way you could beat her.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Anybody that can work out with another human, like in their body, is some. I mean, that's astounding to me. I don't even understand
You have
that level.
Having a baby is not easy. So I had all my kids 2 or 3 weeks late. So I was in the gym. Like those last 2 or 3 weeks when the kid wasn't out yet, I was working out even more.
That's crazy because I would think with all the working out, because like that's the whole thing of like getting the baby to come is like,
Right.
you go for a walk, you do some stairs, eat spicy food,
It
whatever.
didn't go so well
But
for me.
no.
No.
Wow, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. 3 little ones.
I'm gonna shout out to your boys.
Yep. So huge shout out to my husband Chris, who has been, as he'll proudly announce, that this will be his 7th year at regionals as a spectator.
Wow.
He probably already has shirts made for that for himself. So he literally has been there. Like, I got into this, I was already, my son was 9. I'm like a 35-year-old woman,
Oh,
who has-
ancient, right?
I know. This was like back in 2011, so I'm really ancient now. But anyway, kind of like he had no clue the first year we went. He was annoyed with me about CrossFit.
Yeah.
And then a couple months later when I went to regionals with the team, he just was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
this is cool. I want to do this now. And so
he wasn't working out before that.
he went CrossFit until
No.
after. Oh, he went to maybe a couple of Saturday whatever's with
Yeah.
Colt. We drug him, and then but we came back from that first regional, and he was. I had only been CrossFit in all fairness a couple months. Like
Okay.
literally, I didn't know what the open was when I did it, and I ended up going with the team. So
Yeah.
it was kind of an interesting route back then.
Wow.
But anyway, can't do that these days. But he, it was so new to our whole family. I didn't even know what it was. Like, I remember Googling videos of like Rich at the games, like 2 weeks before regionals, trying to figure out what this stuff is. And so,
Learning what a rope climb was.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of sold him. And then now, he's just as part of the like area-wide CrossFit community.
Yeah.
Than he has more CrossFit people that he's buddies with than probably me because he's more social. But anyway.
Yeah, he got in deep.
Yeah. So he's the man. Anything I've needed, anything I've wanted, anything where it's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing the team in Hendersonville. I'm gonna, Saturday, this and that. He's out here with me,
Yeah.
or he's like, go for it. Like,
That's so
it
cool.
sounds awesome. And so he's amazing. And then Cole, my son, who, like I said, he was 9. I was coaching, and he was, doing PVC pipes, is now going back to the games, and he's really coming into his own as an athlete and a person. He'll be 16 in August. Crazy, they have starting families, and I have 2 years left with mine before college. So
he's an incredible guy too.
Kind of crazy, but
super impressive. So how do you balance being an athlete and a mom in the midst of this? Like, are you able to do that? Like, how?
I think it's actually
Do you
easier.
compartmentalize?
I think it's easier now, like for me, like training wise and stuff, because he's not younger. he is older, and so he we do a lot of training together. Like when I'm not, even the last couple of weeks, like I'll just jump in on his stuff and like do synchro just to practice before we knew the workouts and before when I wasn't out here. But it's tough. It's tough to like. I mean, at the games, or big competitions, it's hard. I can't really. It's hard to do both because we compete at the same time.
So like he did the qualifier just a couple weeks ago or whatever, and so were you judging him on those?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
We judged each other this year. We judged each other, and it's cool. I mean, it's fun. It's cool, but it's tough because I'm more about him doing what he needs to do and making it and. Than I am about myself, I think. And so even this year during that, like they did big Friday Night Light stuff, and I would come in Friday morning and do my workout so that I could put him in an environment that he wanted to be in and do his open workouts. But because I want him, it's more important for me, like for him to have the experience he's looking for, or to, not that I don't want to be there too, but it's fun in the sense of like how many teenage boys like want to hang out with their mom. Honestly, I mean, I know that gets tough. It does. I think relationships, can get tough or whatever. And so the fact that we just literally like push each other and enjoy that part of it, like we share the same bond, like the same. We suffer the same way that I suffer with my friends. I'm like doing that with my teenager too. And so he knows now that he's competing, he knows he's learned the work ethic and some other things that are just good life skills. And
absolutely,
instead of me just telling him about it, he's seeing it and we're sharing in it together. So, and regionals is always easier because he's not eligible this year to compete anyway, and so he just gets to come and like be like the biggest fan person, and so it's a little bit easier in that sense. I'll have to. I am still a mom, but I can focus on competing for the weekend, and he's got to change gears. He runs around and like socializes. And, I mean, he cheers for us, but like I mean, he's like hanging out and watching everybody else too. So
I don't know. There's something special about the relationship between mom and son. I don't know. Like, I love it. Well, I think so many times in CrossFit, especially on podcasts, we talk about the individual so much, and we forget about like there's that whole team of people behind you who are sacrificing and taking care of things while you're doing things, while you're working out, and especially for those of you that have all these obligations during the day of like jobs and stuff like that, to then take more time away from family or whatever to work out and all. I know is a sacrifice not only for you guys but also the people who are kind of covering your backsides on the back end and making sure that bills get paid at home and things get done. And so I appreciate you giving time and giving shout outs to the people behind you, because I think that's a big deal. And I think we often forget about it. We often think about the person, but none of us got where we are by ourselves. And so I think that's important. Well, I appreciate your time and you guys' willingness to hang out and talk and share today. We're really excited. Barbell Voodoo's really excited about you guys doing some amazing things. I love the shorts that you guys are wearing today. Look fantastic. The shirts. The girls are wearing the shirts, and Jake, and the shorts. I just wore a shirt and a hat. I guess that counts too. But can't wait till this weekend. It's gonna be awesome. We'll be there, and we'll be yelling from the tent or the sidelines, whichever we find ourselves in. But good luck, and I hope you guys do everything that you're setting out to do and accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish without any reservation.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Yeah. See you later. We done. Hey, thanks again for listening to the Barbell Voodoo podcast. Regionals is coming up this weekend, and we are so excited to see what happens. We're cheering on not only our Barbell Voodoo people, but also all those competing. We can't wait to see what happens. Hey, before you leave, make sure that you go ahead and hit that like button and also subscribe to this podcast. We'd love to stay connected with you. Hey, one last thing about this weekend coming up. This weekend, not only do you need to bring that coupon from Nashville Fit Magazine, but also we're running a special. that if you spend $75 at our booth, you get a free headband or free Voodoo socks. And I got to tell you, I'm wearing the socks right now, and I love them. I wear them every week. So we hope to see you, hope to connect with you, and hope to hang out with you at regionals. See you next time.